Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video. Right now I am prepping my olive oil. We need 240 grams and this olive oil is infused with indigo powder to give it that bluish tint color. In this recipe I used olive oil, coconut oil, and beef tallow because that is pretty much what I always have on hand. In this next clip you see me prepping 120 grams of coconut oil. I measured out the coconut oil and the beef tallow in the same container because they both need to be melted. I also wanted to mention that I used soapcalc.net to calculate this recipe. In this clip, I am measuring out my beef tallow, and one thing that I like to do is whenever I cook ground beef, I always drain the fat and then save it, and then when I get a lot of it, I clean it. That way I can use it for my soaps. I don't have to throw it away. That's just one way I like to be less wasteful, I guess you would say. I'm still new to soap making, but all you really need to make a soap is an oil or fat, lye, and a liquid. So whatever you have lying around, you can use that. So what I have laying around, that is what I use. In this clip, I am measuring out my sodium hydroxide, also known as lye. When you are using this, you do want to use safety precautions such as gloves, eyewear, maybe a long sleeve shirt, closed toe shoes, because if you get this on your skin, it can burn you. Now, once the lye and the oils undergo the chemical reaction where you get soap and then you let the soap cure for 6 to 8 weeks, that lye will not be in the finished product. So don't be fearful. As long as you're taking your safety measures and you let your soap cure like you're supposed to, you'll be good. So in this next clip, I am measuring out my liquid, which I am just using water. I like to use the ice because when the sodium hydroxide and the water mixes together, it heats up. So if you use ice, it doesn't heat up as much as just using water. Now, when you are mixing your water and sodium hydroxide, you do want to be in an open area because it can give off fumes. That is one reason why I also like to use the ice because it doesn't give off as much fumes as just using liquid water. Now, in this clip, I am just mixing the sodium hydroxide or lye with the water, and as you can see, the sodium hydroxide is actually melting the ice. One reason why I like to use the ice instead of the water is because when you go to mix the oils and the lye water, you want the temperature to be within 10 degrees of each other. So using the ice just makes it less time for the lye water to cool down. So here I am still mixing the lye and the water together. I add a little bit at a time until it is finally all mixed in. If you're still watching, I just want to thank you again for watching this video. Here I am melting the beef tallow and coconut oil. Now we need to combine the olive oil that we poured earlier with the beef tallow and the coconut oil. So I'm just stirring it a little bit, just making sure it's mixed in, and we want to take the temperature of it as well. You want the temperature of the oil to be the same temperature or within 10 degrees as the lye water when you go to mix it. I like to stay between a temp of 90 and 110 for the oil and the lye water. Now I am adding my lye water to the oils, and then we will begin to mix with a stick blender. You do need a stick blender to make soap. Technically, you could mix it by hand, but you'll be mixing for hours versus minutes with a stick blender. So now that we have the lye water and the oils combined, we are going to mix until we reach emulsion. One reason why I started making my own soap is because I wanted to use better ingredients on my skin, but also do it in an affordable way. And since I do save my beef fat from whenever I cook beef, it really just makes it more inexpensive for me to make soap. So why not do it? Okay, so now we're going to pour the soap in a soap mold. I just have a small one here. You can use any type of mold that you want, just as long as it'll hold its shape. And we're going to let it sit for 24 hours. You want to let it sit for 24 hours before you go to cut your bars. And once you cut your bars, you want to let your soap cure for at least 6 to 8 weeks. This allows all the lye to evaporate out of the soap, and it also allows your soap to harden. So now I'm just scraping the container to get every drop in the soap mold, and then I'm going to tap it gently just to try to decrease the air bubbles in the soap batter. So we are finished. Now I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours, and then tomorrow I'll cut it and let it sit for another 6 to 8 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you try making your own soap.